In a world where noise never seems to stop, where conversations overlap, notifications buzz endlessly, and expectations weigh heavily, silence can feel strangely uncomfortable. We live in a time where stillness is rare, where every spare moment is filled with chatter or distraction, and yet, behind all the commotion, there exists a quieter, softer voice, the one that comes from within us, patiently waiting to be heard. But sadly, many people fear silence. They mistake solitude for loneliness, and they associate being alone with being incomplete or unloved. However, the truth couldn't be more different. Learning to be by yourself isn't about isolating yourself from the world. It's about reconnecting with the most intimate relationship you'll ever have, the relationship with yourself. As the Buddha once wisely said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Solitude is not abandonment, it is a return to your own soul, a gentle homecoming to your truest self. So, how do we begin to find peace in being alone? Most people view solitude as something painful, something to avoid. But throughout history, the most enlightened thinkers, spiritual sages, and creative minds sought solitude deliberately, not as a means of escape, but as a gateway to clarity, to wisdom, to a deeper understanding of life and self. Even the Buddha himself left behind the distractions of worldly life to sit in silence beneath the Bodhi tree. It was in that sacred stillness that he discovered enlightenment. That same potential exists within all of us. To be alone doesn't mean to be weak. It means to be strong enough to stand in your own presence and feel whole. It means your peace is not dependent on someone else's presence. One of the main reasons we struggle with being alone is because we crave validation. We long for approval from likes, texts, compliments, and attention. We build our self-worth based on how others perceive us. But here's the danger. The more we rely on validation from the outside world, the more fragile our sense of identity becomes. Ask yourself, if everything external, social media, relationships, praise, were suddenly gone, who would you be? What would remain? When your sense of peace is rooted within, when your joy is no longer tied to external applause, you reclaim your power. You begin to experience freedom, the kind that isn't shaken by other people's opinions. Solitude has a way of teaching us mindfulness, presence, and deep listening. When you sit alone, you are faced with your own thoughts, the insecurities you've buried, the regrets you've ignored, the restless mind you've distracted. But instead of running from those thoughts, try sitting with them. Observe them without judgment. Breathe through the discomfort. With time, you'll begin to notice something profound. Solitude isn't empty. It is filled with depth, with peace, with clarity, if you choose to embrace it. The Buddha taught that all things rise and fall in the present moment. And if you can learn to simply be, to exist with yourself in quiet awareness, then loneliness begins to fade. Its grip loosens. You realize that being alone is not a punishment. It is an opportunity, a sacred space where growth is not just possible, but inevitable. Use that space wisely. Read books that awaken your spirit. Meditate to calm the chaos within. Write in a journal to understand the movements of your heart. Explore your interests, your creativity, your dreams. Instead of enduring solitude as a burden, treat it as a sanctuary, a temple for the soul. And here's a powerful question to reflect on. If you were to meet yourself today, would you enjoy the conversation? We often treat others with patience, with kindness, with understanding. But how do we speak to ourselves? We criticize, compare, and condemn our own thoughts and feelings. Learning to be alone means learning to become your own ally, your own source of support and care. When you treat yourself as a dear friend, with gentleness, compassion, and respect, you'll begin to see that solitude isn't loneliness. It's communion with the one person who truly understands you. You. There's a reason why some of life's deepest wisdom is born from silence. The Buddha once said, "Silence is an empty space. Space is the home of the awakened mind." When we stop fearing silence and begin to embrace it, something beautiful happens. We begin to listen, not with our ears, but with our hearts. In the stillness, truths begin to reveal themselves, truths that noise often drowns out. In the absence of distraction, we gain vision. In the quiet, we meet ourselves. So, instead of running from solitude, walk into it. Instead of filling every moment with noise, allow yourself to breathe. Sit in the silence, let it speak. Because in that silence, you might just discover the voice you've been searching for all along. To be alone is not to be forgotten or unloved. It is to return home, to the presence of your own soul. Solitude is a gift. It teaches resilience, self-respect, and the rare, unwavering peace of a heart that is content in its own company. The more you learn to enjoy your own presence, the less you will seek completion from the world around you. So today, give yourself a moment. Sit quietly. Reflect. Feel your breath. And remember, solitude is not the absence of life. It is the space where life becomes fully alive. If this message speaks to your heart, subscribe for more mindful wisdom and soulful reflections. Let's continue this journey together, one quiet step at a time.